Mark Carney, and I saw the photo of him with Ghislaine Maxwell. Weird. That's the first photo I never even heard of this guy. All of a sudden, he's next to Ghislaine. Talk to me, Rob, about this WEF puppet.
It's very interesting.
Which is French for inmate.
Because the very first reporting of this was that the images were AI. So when you're scrolling on X and you started seeing the photograph of Mark Carney, he is now taking over for Justin Trudeau in Canada. You see the photos of Mark Carney with Ghislaine Maxwell. Everybody said, that's not real, it's AI. This is the first time that I've seen that actually been used as a strategy, but it turns out that the photos are in fact real and they are not AI. We'll go to that in a second. But first, if you're not familiar with who Mark Carney is, here's some video from earlier this week where he was announced as a replacement for Justin Trudeau. Here he is, I believe, talking about darker days ahead for all Canadians because of Donald Trump, tariffs, and the United States, the big, bad, evil United States.
Proud of his liberal status, apparently.
And go.
Can't hear it.
Dark days brought on by
You're good.
These are dark days. Dark days brought on by a country we can no longer trust.
Oh, God.
We are getting over the shock, but let us never forget the lessons. We have to look after ourselves, and we have to look out for each other. We need to pull together in the tough days ahead.
I like the last part of that message.
Yeah.
We should work together. Let's be united in a front. The first part of the message, bullshit.
Yeah.
Let's go to this clip. This is where Mark Carney talks about, I'm not sure what this clip was actually. Kelly, do you remember what this clip was?
This is the one before Trump.
Oh, okay. This is about, him talking about how Canadians win, whether it's on the ice rink in a hockey match or whether it's in trade wars and tariff offs with Trump.
And I love the French subtitles because it says Mark Carney, deviant.
Deviant.
which is French, but it kind of cracks me up, and I kind of.
Ready?
Go ahead.
Yep.
Go.
America is not Canada,
No shit.
and Canada never, ever will be part of America in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and thank God for
Really? Like a North American trade agreement or something like that, you idiot?
Look, we didn't ask for this fight.
Yo, you really?
We didn't ask for this fight. But Canadians are always ready when someone else drops the gloves. So the Americans,
they're so tough.
they should make no mistake,
Canadian.
in trade as in hockey, Canada will win.
And then here's the final clip. They need a bad guy. Big bad boogeyman, of course, is the orange fella in charge that lives at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Donald Trump. Here's Mark Carney on Trump.
What the hell?
Sorry, guys.
There's someone who's trying to weaken our economy. Yeah, Donald Trump. Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, as we know, has put, as the Prime Minister just said, unjustified tariffs on what we build, on what we sell, on how we make a living. He's attacking Canadian families, workers, and businesses, and we cannot let him succeed. And we won't. We won't.
You can cut it there.
Oh, bro, go
You
ahead.
would think the way that they make him sound like he is, what's the bad guy from Star Wars? Darth Vader.
Darth Vader.
Like the way they speak about this, there is a force that is trying to cripple the Canadian families. No, we're involved in a trade war.
Yeah.
That's all that it is. Yes, he's maybe not the most favorite person among Canadians, but he is certainly not Voldemort or what's the bad guy from Harry Potter?
Voldemort.
Voldemort.
Yeah, so
The guy that holds the wand, like it doesn't even want to be in his hand.
Tom
Kelly. He's like,
Marvolo.
huh? Yeah, I love that guy.
they seem to really have more of a problem with Donald Trump than they do with this next. Do you have the story of Mark Carney and the photo of him with Ghislaine Maxwell? If we could pull that up, because
With
that's
Jizz?
what I
With
have
Jizz? I
a
call it
bigger.
Jizz.
I have a bigger problem with is his connection to Ghislaine Maxwell. Turns out, so this photo is one that became public. Yeah, here it is. There we go. This is from 2013. If you scroll down, Kelly, the photos in it.
Oh,
There they are.
look there.
Now, I got to ask you, I mean, Tom, you've been around for quite some time. You've done business with a lot of people. Adam, you also have done business with tons of people. Vinny, you have done comedy, and you've run in circles with a lot of people. Comedy, that's a business. It's the entertainment
A lot
business.
of business, guys.
Have any one of you guys ever, in your history of your knowledge, ever been photographed with a woman that was implicated in the biggest sex trafficking ring in United States history? Any one of you guys ever?
No, can't say that I have. It's on the bucket list. So
Yeah. Nobody in my circle. How about this? Nobody.
No comment.
Adam, wait a second. No, Rob.
Those
because-
charges are pending, and they have not been convicted of anything. Meanwhile, this photo was taken in 2013, long after Jeffrey Epstein was accused and then found criminally responsible for the trafficking of minors in the state of Florida. He then got out. Remember, that's a sweetheart deal. But and we've talked about that ad nauseum, and everybody by now knows the history of Jeffrey Epstein. But he was arrested in 2006 on the charges, was given that sweetheart, hey, you can go home and work from home for certain hours of the
In
day.
Florida.
Yeah,
in the same home where he was freaking trafficking girls.
yeah, where he was also allegedly maybe filming people of high-profile positions having sex with underage minors, and then lists that we've been promised day one. And this is the thing that drives me nuts about the Epstein list, is when you look at Jeffrey Epstein and the coverage or the release of the files. I put this on Twitter. I saw a photo of Kash Patel at the UFC this weekend, and it actually upset me. I was mad. I go, no, I don't want you out there hobnobbing with people from the UFC. I want the Epstein files. I want an update. You are the one. And then I posted that on Twitter, and people were like, you need to relax. It's the weekend. I go, he's the one that said day one. I didn't make up day one. We've played montages of him going, on day one, the Epstein files will be released. You can't make a promise like that to the American public and then not follow through with it and then just ignore it. When you start looking at what's going on with Epstein right now, it's nothing to do with the files. Ex-JP Morgan banker Jez Staley came out and claimed that Jeffrey Epstein knew more about upper levels of banking than he did when it comes to JP Morgan Chase, of which he was an executive at. The other story that comes out, Caroline Levitt says the Department of Justice is, and I quote, working diligently on Epstein files after being questioned about it at a White House briefing. We're never going to see the release of these files. I am so disappointed. And the fact that they're going to sit here and say that it's national security, they can do it. Where's the JFK files then? What's the holdup with the JFK files? It was supposed to be a 2-week release. It was supposed to be a 2-week program or time to present the program for release to the president. It's been far longer than 2 weeks, and we have no update on the JFK files, the RFK files, the MLK files, or the Epstein files, other than, we're working on it. We're going to go to this UFC fight on a Saturday, and you shouldn't be outraged that we're out here enjoying life when we promised you we'd do something that we didn't follow through on. That's why I voted. I voted for this administration because I believe there's going to be transparency, and I'm continuing now to see when it comes to this specific topic, there is zero transparency. It's very odd that this is the one that they're not transparent about.
And well, the scariest thing is the promises that were made once this administration got into place, and everybody was what's it called, Tom, when you go in front of Congress and they accept,
Testify?
No, not testify. When they
sworn
accept
in.
nomination.
The Senate hearings,
The Senate
confirmation
hearings.
hearings.
And now all the pieces from RFK to Pam Bondi, now everybody's in place. What conversation? Who is the person that walked into Trump's office and said, yo, none of this is happening, just letting you know, because everything, Adam freaking woke me up to this, which I love you for, because you made me like take a step back. The entire system will collapse because everybody's connected, all these rich people, which at the end of the day, guys, I'm sorry, let it collapse. This is Vincent Oshana. Let it collapse. If organizations in our government and other foreign governments were cool with little kids having sex with adults, so that they could have blackmail on them, to hell with the system. Let it all burn to the ground and we'll build it back up. That's number one. Number two, JP Morgan, you mentioned, Rob, JP Morgan Chase, do you remember how much they paid to Epstein's victims? $290 million. They settled a class action lawsuit brought by the victims of Epstein because they accused the women of the bank turning a blind eye to Epstein's sex trafficking activities while he was a client from 1998 to 2013. Put that to the side. This guy, Mark Carney, let me say something to these tough-talking freaking Canadians. And by the way, I love the Canadian, our fans. I have more Manex from Canada, I know you do too, than almost anybody else. It's Canada that they were complaining about Trudeau. But you know what? This talking tough bullshit, it's not you, bro. Mark Carney, you WEF puppet. Like, do you know how lucky these people are that we don't just say, you know what? We're going to invade Canada and take your ass over. You don't have any fucking military. These people talk tough because you know why, Rob? They know that we have to protect them. Because we can't, if we just turn the blind eye, everybody would come and take over your ass. China, Russia, everybody would take over your loudmouth shit-talking ass. But you know we have to protect you because you guys are on our border. So that tough shit doesn't float with me. And that guy's a scumbag. No, what does Canada not have any good leaders? What's going on? What's happening? Pierre Poilievre with his apple eating. Okay, he's cool, but have somebody step the fuck up.
According to Mark Carney, and in his defense, the photo with Ghislaine Maxwell is from 2013, still again after the 2008 conviction for Jeffrey Epstein on child prostitution charges. But what they say is that it was a one-time bump in a public setting. However, they have or may have bumped into each other in other public settings because Maxwell has a tie to Carney's sister-in-law. So Carney's wife's sister has ties to Ghislaine Maxwell.
Oh, weird.
Isn't that weird?
That's
I mean,
so
you got to
odd.
think of all the billions of people on the planet. Somehow your sister-in-law has... I mean, I'm just the odds. Is anybody here? Did anybody here have ties to Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell?
Not
Adam again, silent.
Yeah.
But it just seems very odd. And to your point about the J.P. Morgan Chase thing, quickly, this is from the New York Post. It came out yesterday. Jez Staley, a former J.P. Morgan Chase executive and later Barclays CEO, testified in London court that Jeffrey Epstein, a convicted child sex trafficker, seemed to be aware of things related to the bank that I was not even aware of and had a remarkable ability to gather Wall Street intel, claiming Mr. Epstein was also well connected within the upper levels of J.P. Morgan itself. Weird. And then if you go down to the Caroline Levitt story real quick, Caroline Levitt says the Department of Justice is working diligently. She told the Daily Caller on Tuesday that the Director of National Intelligence, led by Tulsi Gabbard, and the Department of Justice are working diligently on releasing Epstein and JFK files, saying, I would defer you to our DNI, Tulsi Gabbard, and also the Department of Justice. I know that they are working diligently as the president has requested them to do.
Oh, yeah, and at the end of the day, and Adam, I'm going to come to you for the story. And Tom, I know you'll testify to this. At the end of the day, as mad as we get, God, you could hide and you could have the system protect you. One day you're going to meet your maker. And if you think God is going to be cool with you demons raping, molesting, sexually assaulting children, you're in for the wildest, hot temperature, burning your soul. You have no idea what the fuck is coming for you. And I'm sorry that I'm cussing, Tom. Adam, before I lose my freaking temper. Trump, tariffs, China, talk to me.
Before I lose my temper.
Go ahead.
Before I lose my goddamn
Take it easy. Talk in the mic. It just drives me crazy, bro.
Let's put a period at the end of the sentence on Carney. What went on Epstein Island, there's no words of despicability that are powerful enough to describe it.
Yeah.
And if he was in any way involved in that, then he deserves what's coming. But there's one more issue, and that's what he did with the Bank of England and what he did to Canada. He screwed an entire country financially, and it's the upper layer of banking and what they did. And here they are electing him. And when history opens the book and really shows what he was involved in, what he was doing to the Canadian economy at that time, he screwed an entire country. And so this guy, let's hope that the Canadian citizens on October 20th run an election. And if it's Pierre Poilievre, that's not great, but it is 10 steps better. And you would hope that someone could stand up and rise up in the future of Canadian politics once they get back. Because they blinked on the tariff today, by the way.
Yes, they did.
They blinked on a tariff today. And the U.S. stock market bumped up about 1.5%. Oh, funny how that works, huh?
Weird.
So now sentiment forward. Oh, so they blinked. Okay, bing.
Yeah.
Comes back. But Mark Carney, enjoy your summer, because when the election comes, Pierre Poilievre is going to take over. I wish we had someone better and more conservative than him for the job in Canada. But Carney's going to have the shortest career since that pope that was poisoned.
Can I just say one quick thing quickly? Shout out to Philip Meneses. He sent me this message back on March 9th. I believe this is before Carney was elected. He said, hey, Rob, this is on Monect, by the way. My link is in the description if you want to Monect with me. And I also have a Monect Circles now, Off Air with Rob Gargiulo. $10 a month. Throw me a 10-spot, Cuzzy, and join me behind-the-scenes stuff on the podcast and also, unusual suspects, things that are going on in the news, that kind of stuff. But Philip warned me about this. He said Mark Carney is... you need to examine his relationships to the WEF. He's an unelected WEF puppet on the WEF board. He is a two-time central bankers, governor of Bank of England and Bank of Canada. The Liberals, a.k.a. the World Economic Forum, didn't choose any of our elected politicians. They brought in Carney, straight-up WEF pick and close friend of Trudeau. And then he sent me a link to a video where it's very interesting. It's Klaus Schwab sitting down talking about penetrating the cabinets. Have you ever seen that video? It's very interesting. Kelly, I'll send it to you if we could put it in the chat. But it's him sitting down and talking about how to further spread democracy through penetrating cabinets, and he specifically listed Justin Trudeau in his message. It's a super interesting video to watch. So again, I'll send it to Kelly, but thanks to Philip Meneses on Monect for connecting with me and sending me that info.
Awesome. So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.